checkout. It is time for our Easter paint event. Grab your brushes, grab your water, grab your paint, grab your canvas. Let's get going.
All right, guys, welcome back. I'm super excited that we get to do an Easter painting together. And if you did our Christmas paint night with us, our paint event with us, you kind of have an idea of how we are going to be doing this painting. To start off, make sure you have your canvas ready, your paint brushes ready, your paint ready, and also your water, a little cup of water, and maybe a paper towel or napkin, just in case you need to dry off your brush. We're gonna start with a certain color, and I'll explain as we go how to do the detail and make your masterpiece beautiful. So I am actually gonna start with the thicker brush. This is the flat brush. And with this flat brush, we're gonna use our gray. We're gonna do a gray bunny today. We're gonna start by just filling him in kind of like a color book. The thing we need to be extra careful about is when we go around all these really great details in his face, but I'll show you guys how to do that and how to be careful. So let's go ahead, get your flat brush, and let's start with some gray. So I'm gonna start from the top and work my way to the bottom. That way I don't lay my hand in it and mess up my painting. And it can dry as I go from the top to the bottom. So let's start right here. We're gonna start at the top, and we're just gonna start very carefully. Take your time. Go along the edges first and just pull that paint down. Then you're gonna come back up here, pull your paint down, and you just wanna start filling in this little cute bunny that's sitting on the hill. He's looking at the crosses, and he's just having a really great day. So we're gonna just fill in this ear. Now, like in my first video, make sure if you guys get a little bit behind as we are doing this painting, pause the video, and then once you're caught up to where I'm at, hit play. That way you guys can take your time. You'll be able to do your very best. Sometimes if you're going a little bit slower, that's perfectly okay. I don't want you to think that's wrong. So go ahead and just grab your paints, keep going, and we're gonna continue to fill this in. Sometimes when I do tutorials with other artists, I'll have to pause my video as well, and that's perfectly okay. So I'm gonna continue to just take my time. I'm filling him in. I like to go around the edges first, and then I'm able to fill in the middle. Kind of like when you have a color book and you have your crayons out. Make sure you don't go into the middle of his ear. Try your very best. If you cross over a little bit, don't worry. I want you to know that we can fix that when we outline or when we use the color that's supposed to go in that spot. So I'm just gonna go over this little spot, up and down right here. Just trying to take my time and make it as good as I can. I know your paintings are gonna turn out amazing. For those of you that did Christmas and you sent in your paintings, they were absolutely amazing. I showed all my friends and they were so happy to see how great you guys did. So I'm just gonna keep doing his ear. If you get too much paint in one spot, you can kind of use that paint to bring it down on another part of your painting that's that same color. So I like to do all of the big spaces first and always start kind of from the middle, just so that again, we don't mess up our painting with our hands or with our arms. Sometimes it's easy to forget that part of our painting is wet, and then you go in and you accidentally lay your wrist on it, and then your wrist has paint and there might be a smudge in your painting. So we're just gonna be extra careful. When you're in these bigger areas where there's no details around, you can bring your brush and just move a little bit faster if you'd like, just some up and down motions. I try to keep my brush strokes in the same, going the same direction the best that I can. Sometimes because of the shape, you have to do them a little bit different, and that's okay too. Now, this is where it's gonna get a little bit tricky, guys. Do your very best. You're gonna take your brush and very carefully, we're gonna go around this bunny's eyes very carefully. Now, if you need to use your tiny brush, this one right here, just so that you don't go over, you guys can go ahead and use that tiny brush to go around these details. Okay, so I'm gonna go around the nose. I'm gonna go around the little wrinkles under his, or next to his nose. And we're just gonna fill in the space. Take your time. This will probably be the trickiest part. So it's good that we're getting the tricky part done now, so that the rest of it, you guys can just fill it in and not have to worry about these little details. So I'm just gonna do my best. I might even leave a little bit of white around these parts because we're gonna outline it with black. If any of you have ever drawn with me, you know that I love to do all the coloring and then we outline just to make it look really nice and neat and finished. So I'm just taking my time. If you guys need help from your parents, you guys can ask your parents to come in and give you a little bit of help as well for these little tricky parts. So just like that. If you notice, I still have a little bit of white around the mouth just because I don't want to go over the mouth. Guys, that's perfectly okay. You can go ahead and just leave that space because when we outline, it'll cover it right up. No one will ever know. So there's our little bunny face. We are gonna move to his cute body. We're gonna do the arms, but the belly is not gray. We're not gonna do the belly gray. So let's do his little arms. Again, I'm gonna go around the edges. I might leave a tiny, tiny bit of space between his head and his body, and that will be outlined, so that'll be covered up too. So we're gonna just drag these in. I think one of my favorite parts of doing these paintings with you guys is that I get to see your masterpieces at the end. And I'm always really just so amazed at how awesome you guys are and how artistic and creative you guys are. It's so much fun to see all the different styles that come in. You guys do such a great job. So the same thing with this. I hope that when you guys are done with this painting, you guys are able to maybe put it on our Instagram or our social media, and you can share with us on our Cornerstone social media accounts. So I'm gonna go right there. That's like right underneath his belly there. All right, I just wanna push that up a little bit. Now his feet, we're gonna go around these 3 circles and around this oval. Those are gonna be a different color. We might make them pink or white. You guys can actually choose. So let's fill in his little feet. We're gonna leave a little bit of space again. Remember, when you guys are painting, maybe turn on some music and just relax. Let it be a fun, relaxing project to do. And you can just take your time as your music's playing and just go with it. All right, so now I'm gonna go around these little toes right here. All the way around, taking my time. There we go. So I have 1 foot filled in there. Oh, he's looking good. Now you guys can always add other details. Just because you have your pre-drawn canvas with this picture, once you get this done, if there's some extra details that you would like to add to make yours one of a kind and unique, go for it. That's what artists do. Sometimes they get inspired by something they see, and then they go in and they might add like a different color or maybe another detail in the background that someone else might not think of. So it's always fun to see those ideas that you guys come up with, your imaginations. Use those imaginations and just get super creative. All right, so I'm almost done with my gray here. I'm gonna bring it in. There we go. I think I'm pretty happy. If there's any spaces you feel like, oh, it looks a little, I can see the canvas through it, you can always get some more gray, just like I'm doing here, and kind of fill in those spots. Take your time. If there's a spot you think, it's too thin, or you want it to just look a little more solid, go ahead and fill those in. So I'm gonna just fill in these little cute little spots right between his eyes. Again, if you're not here, pause that video so that you can catch up, okay? Oh, he's looking good and he's drying nice. The good thing is when we do these big spots first, I'm just gonna fill these in, guys. When we do these big spots first, then that lets the other spots dry so that we can go back and paint over them and do the outlines. So let me tell you, when you are done with the gray, we're gonna stop with the bunny at this point so that his gray fur can dry. While he is drying, I am gonna be rinsing my brush in my water. Rinse it really good. And then I'm gonna dry it off on my paper towel or napkin. And then we're gonna move to the sky. Okay, and I want you guys to use that bright teal blue color, okay? A bright pastel blue. This blue is perfect for Easter. It's a pastel color. And what we're gonna do with this blue, it looks almost like a green blue or a turquoise, is we're gonna fill in this beautiful sky behind him. So all the way down to the hill is gonna be this teal color. So I'm gonna start on the left side. I'm gonna bring it down. Be a little careful around those ears, but again, remember, we're gonna be outlining this. So if you accidentally cross over, it's okay. It can be fixed. Everything when we're painting though can be fixed, guys. If there's a little mistake that you made, you can always go back over it at a later time and fill it in or cover it up. So I'm gonna very gently come around this bunny. Here we go. Filling in the sky. Oh, this is it's a beautiful day in this painting because the sky is blue. It just looks amazing. Pastel colors are these lighter colors that always look so good around springtime and Easter. So we're gonna just fill this painting with all these bright, vibrant, beautiful colors. So I'm gonna continue with my sky. Some people paint a little bit faster, and that's okay too. If you get a little bit ahead, you can always, again, pause if you're ahead or pause if you need to slow down. It works both ways to see what the next steps are. So I'm gonna go right up around his head. We're going around his head, filling in this beautiful sky. Oh, this is gonna look so good, guys. I'm gonna try to be extra careful around my crosses. Now, if you accidentally cover your cross, do you see how you can still see it? Let me show you. So I'm gonna do a little trick here. On my first cross here, if I accidentally cover it, oh, that one's a little dark. So I'm gonna try not to cover it that much. But if a little bit goes over it, I know where that cross is. But what you can do is this. You can go right next to your cross, go down, and then fill it in. Next to this cross, down. You can still kind of see that line there. And that will just help you know. Now, if your cross gets totally covered, there's no wrong spot. As long as you put your 3 crosses over here, that's perfect. It's not gonna be wrong if it accidentally gets covered like this little one did a little bit. I can still see it. I don't know if you can on the camera, but I'm gonna try to go around. But if you put it in a different location because it accidentally gets covered up, that's still correct and it's still gonna look amazing. So just keep painting, and you guys can add your crosses if you want, if that's easier for you. Sometimes it's easier to just do the whole background and then add your detail over the top without going around. I will let you guys make that decision for your painting, but just so you can see, I'm gonna kind of just be extra careful. I'm leaving a little bit of white, but that white will be covered up with the black when we outline. So I'm not worried about that. I'm gonna come right here, pull it down, over and up. Oh, this looks awesome. Super excited. Here we go. All right. I bet you are all super excited too that spring break is coming up for us. I bet you guys have a lot of fun plans. We get to celebrate Easter and Jesus rising again for us. All right, guys, so my sky is done. Now, here's the deal. Don't do those crosses yet because our sky is still our sky is still wet, so we don't want to do anything over that yet. I'm going to go ahead and rinse my brush. The next big thing we're going to do is, you guessed it, the hill. So we're going to make it that bright neon, almost fluorescent green that we have in your paint kit. I picked that color out because I thought it would be just a perfect color for this painting. This really, I'm gonna put this over so you can see it. This really pretty green color is gonna fill in all the space around our bunny. Now, again, I talked about if you wanna do details at the end, one really cute detail you guys could do is you could always add some Easter eggs in the grass around him. Fill that in. You could put designs on your Easter eggs. Maybe he's out having an Easter egg hunt with his church and all his church friends. We don't know. You can make up a story. Every painting could have a different story. So go ahead and think, okay, what's going on in your painting? That's the great thing about being an artist and being a painter, is you can create all kinds of stories with your artwork. All right, so let's fill this in. Let's keep going. Let's bring this grass down. Oh, I'm liking this a lot. All right, so he's sitting in the grass on this beautiful day. I'm being very careful around these edges. Very careful. You're doing your best. Right in there. Take your time and go right around those edges. There you go. The great thing is, look at how much, we only need this little amount of paint to do this beautiful painting. So if you dip it in and just do little dips, you'll be able to stretch that painting and still have extra. So I'm still filling this in here. It's looking so good, guys. I'm coming under, going around those edges. Again, it can be a tiny bit tricky there, but you guys got this. I have no doubt that yours is going to be so amazing and beautiful. All right, I'm bringing this down here again around the head. This head probably has been the trickiest part on the outside and on the inside with his cute little face. You can make your bunny a boy or a girl if you want. I know a lot of times in my art classes with my girls, they like to add eyelashes. That's a detail that you guys can add, or whiskers. You guys can go in and add some really cute and fun things. All right, so I'm just coming around. We're doing great on this grass. Taking my time. I'm gonna wrap this down and under. Just filling in the space here. All right, we're gonna fill it in. Let's keep going here. All right, so the great thing is this. If you're not done yet and you're still working on your grass, keep going. The great thing for me is, as I did my sky and as I did my grass, my bunny, the gray in my bunny, already started to dry. So you can see, I don't know if you can see on the video, but the gray is drying. There's not a lot of wet puddles. Once I'm done with my details, again, if there's spots where you want to go back and fill in because you think it needs to be a little more solid somewhere, you guys can do that. We still have a few more spots left that are a little bit larger, so I'm still going to keep my big brush, my flat brush. We're going to use this brush not only for the bunny's fur and the sky and the grass, but I'm going to use this to fill in his ears, okay? I'm going to be using the hot pink, that really pretty pastel pink. I'm going to dip my flat brush in there, and I'm going to go right inside these ears, and I'm going to fill them in. Just slowly bring that brush down. Start at the top, bring it down, start at the top, bring it down, start at the top, and bring it down. All right. Let's go back on this ear now. Now to make this a little bit brighter, because sometimes lighter colors can be a little more see-through, you can wait till this dries and then do another coat, another layer of that color of paint on those spots. So for his ears, you could go back in. Now I'm gonna keep my bunny's belly white, but I wanna make the bottom of his feet pink, okay? So let's take this pink and very carefully fill in the bigger oval. I'm just taking my time here. I like to just pull it down and really just create these long strokes with the paintbrush. Oh yeah, that looks good. To fill in those spots. Okay, there's one. I'm gonna get a little more paint, dip it in there. You guys can choose too what color your belly is on your bunny. You do not have to copy mine 100%. You can use mine as a reference and just get some ideas and then go with it. All right, so for these smaller circles, I'm actually gonna use my smaller brush. This is my little detail brush, and that's gonna help me get into all those little spots. So I'm gonna go right here, and I'm just gonna start filling those in. You're gonna go in an oval or circle shape, oval or circle shape, and you're filling them in. Oh yeah. The fun thing about these is once you start adding the outline and the detail to the eyes, there's something about when we paint inside the eyes, it kind of brings our characters to life. I tell that to my students a lot at school, that when we fill in those eyes, it just brings them to life, because when they're still white, sometimes it just looks a little different. All right, so there's his little feet. Now you can also use your pink for your tongue because we don't have a red for this one and I wanted to use a lot of pastel colors. You could just do a little dip and very carefully, guys, super careful, fill in just that cute little tongue right there. Right there. Okay, now if your edges aren't perfect like mine, don't worry about it because that's where we're gonna fill it in with the black outline. So I'm gonna rinse my little baby detail brush now. I'm rinsing my brush. I'm still kind of looking around. I'm like, okay, letting that dry a little bit. His teeth are gonna stay white. Inside the mouth here, we will be filling that in with black because it's probably nice and dark in there. His eyes will be black. Now, you guys also have the choice for your bunny's nose. Is your nose going to be black or are you gonna do a little pink nose? I'm gonna do mine black, but you guys can change the color of your nose if you'd like and change it to something else. So let's go ahead. I feel like the sky has dried enough on my painting. If you're not to this part yet, pause it now. But we're gonna start adding the detail and the outlines with black. So here's the trick. Listen to this. For a little tip, when you put the black on your brush and you start to trace, that's what we do when we're outlining, right? We're tracing what looks like the pencil, even though it's not pencil, but it looks like the drawing that was on there. You don't want to push really hard. If you push soft with your brush, your lines are going to be softer and lighter and not so thick, okay? So let's go ahead. I'm going to start in the middle of his face, just so that, again, we don't lay our hand inside of it, okay? So let's go right here. If your grass isn't dry yet, go ahead and pause and just wait just a second and let that dry. Oops. I almost put green in his eye. That's actually something you guys could do. If you didn't want to do black eyes like I'm doing, you could go in with another color and fill that in. So we're just filling in this eye here. Cute little eye. I'm leaving this little circle white because that's the shine. His eyes are shiny and the light's reflecting off of his eye. So I'm just gonna bring this around. I'm I'm taking my time, guys. This is one part that you really want to take your time and do your very best. Now, yes, black is a harder color to cover up because it is so dark, right? It's not light like the pink. But if you do make a mistake as we're going, let that black dry and then you can go over it with the correct color, okay? So I don't want you to think that you can't fix it. I'm gonna outline now his little nose area. I'm gonna bring this eye down just a little more. There we go. And then we're gonna fill in the nose. Take your time. Sometimes with a paintbrush, it gets a little bit, you have to get used to controlling it because it's not like a pencil, right? It's a little bit different. So we're taking our time and we're filling in those spots. Oh my goodness, this is looking so cute. Now, if you start to do your outline and you noticed maybe there's too much of the white showing where you left white between the colors, you can always fill that in with that other color. So I can come back in with my gray and fix up these edges right here so that we can get that nice and neat. We are going to be outlining his little teeth. Now watch, here's a little trick. You're just gonna go 1, 2, 3 lines down and 1 line across just to get his cute little bunny teeth. Then we're gonna bring it down and up. I'm barely touching my canvas and over to keep my lines nice and neat. Right there. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, here he comes. Looking good. Take your time. This is the part where you might need some help from an adult. So if you want to ask someone in your house, a big sister or a big brother, a grandma, grandpa, auntie, uncle, if it's a little bit too tricky for you, just ask for some help and maybe they can help you with those details. All right, so let's outline our bunny ears. So I'm gonna go on the outside. I'm gonna start up here. Drag my brush down. Now that line's a little bit thicker because I was pushing just a little bit harder, but that's okay. I'm gonna come right here. I'm gonna just try to push a little softer. There we go. Then we're gonna trace around the pink, the inside of his cute little ear, and there we go. So we're filling it in. Now, if you don't have enough paint on your brush, kind of happened to me in this area, it'll look like the black is a little bit see-through, so you can go over it very gently with your black and just darken those spots up. We're gonna go over the head. Oh guys, I'm loving this. Then we're gonna do the other ear. So this is his bent ear. So it's a little bit longer here. I'm gonna go up and around. Keep going around there. You could do a little dip, back up. This little ear's bent over. So we're just filling these in. I really can't wait to see what ideas you all came up with for your painting. I'm gonna come up right there. Oh, I'm loving it, guys. Then we're gonna bring this down. I also hope that you guys like your light up Easter rings that came along with your Easter kit. Let's go ahead and do the hill. Since we're in this area, and then make sure you stop and then bring it to the other side and bring it over. There you go. Oh, all right. So once my sky started to dry, you can see that my cross started to show just enough that I knew where I would be tracing I'm gonna put a little more paint. Sometimes you need a little more paint to fill those spots. And then I'm gonna go from the tippy top to here, and then just bring it down. And I'm gonna just straighten that out right here. Yeah, that looks good, guys. Some of you might even decide that you wanna add some clouds in the sky with the white and make it nice and make nice and fluffy clouds. All right, I'm gonna make that one a little thicker. There we go. All right, so it's coming along. All right, so let's finish our bunny's head. I'm gonna gently go around these little tricky parts, these zigzag lines on each side, showing his little fluffy face. And I'm gonna bring it across. I'm trying to fill in that white where I left that gap. Again, if you don't get to fill it because you may have left too much room, go ahead and use that gray around those edges once you add your outline. Go. Fill that right in. Oh, he's looking cute, or she. All right, so once you get your bunny head, your bunny ears, the heel, the crosses, it's time to go to his little cute bunny arms. He looks like he wants to give you guys a big hug. So let's go around here and go right around these edges. And right around these edges here. There we go. Taking our time. We're gonna do that on the rainbow of his belly right here, this rainbow line. Okay. Then we're gonna do the feet. So I like to start, once you're to this point, once you've caught up, we're gonna start with the little circles first. And then we're gonna make our way to the big oval. Right like that. You're gonna come in, you're gonna come right here, go around the big oval, and around the big oval. Oops. Get a little more paint if that happens. There we go. Perfect. And then move to the other foot. A little more black just around there. Filling in these adorable toes that he likes to hop around on. All right. Go around the big oval. And once you come around here, bring that up. There we go. Oh, well, another thing you can add, and I'll show you guys in just a second here, is some springtime flowers if you'd like, just to add a fun little detail to the field behind him where all the grass is. A really simple way that you can come in and just, I'm going around this big old bunny foot from the tippy top to the bottom. Bring it around and up. But I'll show you guys a way to do some flowers too, to add a little more detail. What I have drawn here and what the seniors worked so hard on is just the starting part of your picture. So I'm going to continue to bring this around. Sometimes it's a little tricky to stay on those lines, but just do your very best. Bring this around. And bring this around here. All right. All right, so I'm pretty happy with my outlining. Now, one thing I skipped that we can go back to is once I show you how to do some flowers in your grass area, we can go back to the belly, and I want to fill that in with white because I never want to leave any part of my canvas blank or bare. You always want to have, even if it's white, you want to fill in those white areas so it's not just a canvas right here on the belly. And even in his eyes, you could put a little dot of white in those white areas, or his little teeth. But let me show you while you're catching up. This isn't something that you have to do, but if you would like to do something a little bit different or a little bit fancy or extra, rinse your detail brush again, dry it off on your paper towel or your napkin. And then we're gonna take some of these pretty colors. So I'm just gonna use the white and the pink. And I'm gonna start by just making some really cute little circles here and there to show that there's a whole bunch of flowers on this hill. It's a spring day. I'm gonna grab some pink and I'm just gonna fill in. These could be some flowers that maybe are a little bit farther away so we can't see the detail, but it's gonna just give your painting some really cute little extra sparkle. So you guys can go and you could even mix your pink and white and get even fancier. Sometimes it's fun to just start painting and then see where it takes you. So I'm just gonna kind of do this on the top of both sides of this hill here. Just swirling, it's like a little swirl. Kind of like where you lay it down like a little cinnamon roll shape and you go around. Just do it very light and gentle. Otherwise, you're gonna have some jumbo flowers, but you know what? Jumbo flowers might look really awesome too. So that's something you can do. Oh, just like that, I love it. I love it. So that's just, you guys could even bring these all the way down to the bottom if you want. But for me, I'm just gonna kind of leave mine at the top because I'm thinking they're a little bit farther away and I can keep them small and simple. Last thing I'm gonna do, guys, I'm gonna rinse my brush one more time. And I'm gonna just do with my detail brush, the little dots in the eyes. So watch this, I'm gonna show you what I do. I dip my brush in the white. I don't know if you can see the white, maybe this way, there you go. And we're gonna go right here and you're just gonna gently touch. Gently touch. We're gonna just fill in the white so that the canvas is covered. There you go, and maybe very gentle, very, very gentle. You're gonna go into where the teeth are. Okay, that's gonna brighten those white spots up. I'm gonna take my flat brush again, once you fill those in, and I'm gonna clean off my flat brush for the very last part, and that's just his belly. So be extra careful around the edges. Fill that in gently. If it goes over, don't worry. Remember what I said, you guys can fix it. Okay, there's so many ways to fix paintings. It's not like when we use color crayon and it's a little bit more tricky. With painting, you can always go back. See this part right here? I went a little bit over my outline. Well, guess what? You can go in, you can take your skinny brush. I'm gonna rinse mine because it has white on it. And you can go like this. Watch this, I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna just take a little bit of black. Oops. And I'm just gonna go right along here. And I'm gonna fix my outline. There we go. Just very gently fix my outline. And it makes it nice and neat, and you fixed it. So one thing I want you to do, friends, is when you are done, when you're done adding any extra details like Easter eggs or flowers or clouds in the sky, I want you to take your little brush, your little tiny detail brush, and I want you to pick a color that will show on your green. So I'm gonna use white. You can use black or white, and that's what's gonna show really good, and you can write your name. So if this is too tricky to do with a paintbrush, you can always use a Sharpie. So I'm gonna write Pacheco right in the right bottom corner, because you are the artist of this amazing painting and you need to hang it up and be so proud of it, because I'm sure you did an amazing job. All right, there we go. There is my signed painting. I'm so happy that we got to paint together today. The seniors wanted me to tell you thank you for all your support this year and all the fundraisers that we've done. They're so thankful. We love you. We hope you have a happy Easter and that it is blessed and amazing. Have a great night.